hope you're all doing well. So now it's time to start. So I hope you're all doing well, have a good lunch, and ready to listen. And I will be pleased to answer all your questions at the end of this talk. So feel free to go to this QR code if you have any question at the end of the speech. I will answer all of them. I'll do my best. So who I am first. So, yeah. Oops, sorry, I went too fast. Feel free to take a picture. I'm there. Okay, so if you find, I will maybe start now. Yeah. So first of all, who I am and what company I'm represented now. So I'm Nico Eslin, so I'm R&D guys, not a sales, not a business focus or R&D. But I know pretty well the market of recycling plastic, so I will be there to help you today, I hope. So I'm working for SK Functional Polymers, which is a Korean company, but I'm based in France, as you can hear from my pronunciation. And today, SK Functional Polymer is silver sponsor of this show, but also we have a solution which is low-trill 40MSO5T, which is finalist for the innovative technology. And if you have any other questions that I can't answer during this presentation, we have a booth just behind the stage, so just behind the door, sorry. So which is the A130. First of all, you can ask me, who is SK? So I mentioned it's a Korean company. The headquarters is based in Seoul. But basically, it's a multinational company. And I'm part of SK Functional Polymers, which is a subsidiary of SK Group. So there are 12 subsidiaries, and SK Functional Polymer is part of SK Geocentric. Basically, today, I will talk more about the additives, which are low-trill, low-tadder, Orevac, and Evatan. As you can see with this world map, we can deliver product all around the world. But now, why I'm here today? I mentioned additive for recycling plastic. What are these technologies? We have different kind of reactor. So we have high pressure polymerization, where we have 3 different brands. The low-tadder, which are term polymer, composed of P-based with acrylate, and functional polymers, which are GMA, so like a kind of epoxy function, or maleic anhydride, which are, I would say, diacid function. The other brand names are low-trill, which are copolymer with 2 different kinds of monomers. So polyethylene with acrylate, which could be butyl acrylate, methyl acrylate. And we have different reasons to use one of the other, depending on the application. We have also Evatan. And also, we have reactive extrusion polymerization, which is the Orevac brand. Maybe you know also this brand name, which are grafted PP, or EVA, with maleic anhydride, which bring functionality to support compatibility or some other application. The last one is low-trill base pill. I just wanted to let you know today, but it's really focusing on packaging application. I talk about the company, but I really wanted to talk also about who I am. Yeah, because I find it's interesting to know who you're talking with when you talk with technical things. But I want to talk more about my values, why we're here today. First, if you ask my boss, he will say because I asked him. But I think working hard brings a better future. I think it's why we are all here today. We know that recycling is challenging and we need to find new solutions. We also try to do what is impossible. I'm sure 10 years ago, if we asked to use 100% of recycling plastic in new application, we'd say it's impossible. I'm deeply sure that we will do it. And also, be sure kids will grow in a better world. With the world we are facing now, I'm sure we have all that in our mind. For me, for my kids, I have a son which is 2 years old. I want him to not talk about recycling as a topic, but as a lifestyle. Now the value of the company, and I think I find the right one. Its sustainability is a key. It's true, SK Functional Polymer try to develop new grades every year to answer the demand. We want to support recyclers and compounders, not just by providing a product we sold since 10 years. The goal is to generate new brand name, new grade, but also, why I'm here today, answer to all technical questions, because based on all recyclers, compounders, all your product, all your challenge are sometimes really specific, and you need to talk not with the sales guy, but with technical guys. So I'm here for that today. Develop solution together for recyclers. So It's also when you need new product, like today I will talk about the Low-Trill 40 MA05T. We try to do a new product for this application, a specific one. Now when I talk about world, I like to talk about the recycling world. And I think it's where we are all today for that. So we are part of this loop. So it's from Recycling Plastic Europe, this data. So they expect, I would say, 850 companies. So I think many of them are here today. So with a turnover around 8 billion euro, with 30,000 employees. I'm a bit sad to see that last year we have seen some bankrupt, but it is what it is. But when we see the volume of integrated recycling plastic, we see around 13.5 million tons per year. It's good, lovely. But what happened the last 10 years? We have a good trend up to 2 years ago. Many of you will say, yeah, but the business were not there. Price was a bit challenging, or challenging in terms of properties. And it's where I think SK functional polymer can be involved and find the solution. If you can just put 20% of recycling material in virgin, why not try 30, 40, 50, and reach exactly the same qualities than a virgin material? Why using additives? There are many reasons. During the lifetime, in fact, the plastic will be exposed to chemical, fuel, UV degradation, so temperature degradation. As you can see, if you leave a plastic chair outside in your garden during summertime, you can see the shades start to be different. Mechanical strength. If you have kids, you know what it is. Pollution and contamination during recycling process. And it's also where collectors need support. Because not only using just one recycling feedstock help, because if you have different kind of quality of polystyrene, ABS, etc., mixed together, you lose some properties. And the sorting is not 100% efficient. I know everyone tries the best, but sometimes we find some challenge with some pollution. So the reprocessing also is making challenge because due to the shear, the temperature, the injection. So all this plastic, which maybe is 40 years old, is living all this life. So we need to bring back to life. So it's where I think we have solution, and I'm really pleased to talk about it today. It's what I call the well of solution of SK, but I can answer it for all companies. So we have solution as impact modifier, if you're looking to improve the impact strength of the plastic. Flexibility in all this kind of matrix. So feel free to take picture of that, and if you don't find it clear, we have it in your booth also. As coupling agent, many people talk about recycling PP, using glass fiber, bamboo fibers, wood fibers. They need coupling agent. So we have the solution to bring it back to virgin material. Viscosity modification, to be sure you can use it as injection. And one that I like a lot, it's recycling compatibilization. It's directly linked to what we talked before. When you have polluted feedstock, contaminated, or because it's a need, how to bring these two different kind of products together. After two new topics who came the last few years, it's how we can improve the hydrolysis UV thermal resistance. You ask me, I will share with you the data. And last things, you have seen many other customer, recyclers, components talk about closed loop. And we want to be integrated there to say, okay, this additive could help to increase the properties. And if the feedstock is in a closed loop, when integrated, you will need less additive and the quality will still improve. And you will reach the quality of virgin metal. Closed loop, it's one of them, or where we could expect to be integrated with different kind of level of recycling material and where the material could improve. We can allow to increase the content where before maybe 20, 30, 40% are integrated, we can use more. And maybe why not 100% of recycling plastic? Now, I will not just talk. I want you to be with me today. Who is interested about styrenic, ABS, IPS, PCABS? So raise your hand if it's a topic you are looking for. Please, don't be shy. Don't be shy, really. Styrenic, okay. Now about polyamide. Some of you? Polyamide? Okay. Okay, I saw some people really shy, it's fine. And polyester. Okay. So, okay, we have few people. I will talk about polyolefin also, don't worry. We can talk about PC, but I select a bit the application for today. First, as a sum up, and I will go in detail with the data, what kind of solution we can provide? Impact modification, using this technology we call Low-Trill. And you will see a lot Lotril 40 MSO5T because the new grade we released last year. Viscosity. It's true that if, for example, we talk about IPS or ABS, you change your viscosity properties and you need a rheology modifier. Thermal aging performance. It's true. Many other people want to see after 1,000 hours with 90 degrees exposure how the properties stay the same, mechanically speaking, but also optically speaking. So maintain the matching properties or the optical or like glossy properties. The same with the UV aging, how to maintain the same optical properties. And chemical resistance. You remember 6 years ago? COVID. How many people use wipes around the plastic, toys, and say, come on, this metal start to be weak, breakable, the shade of color start to change. So how to maintain this color? We want to improve, as I say, the closed loop recycling process and how our products are not thermal sensitive. So what I mean is if you add in the first couponing, you will maintain the mechanical properties after a cycle of couponing, injection, and shredding. Sorry. So also the low loading. It's true that many recyclers, compounders need to use a low volume of additives due to the price, due to the demand, or because they need biomass product, which is not the case. And all these products work with styrenic compound. Now I talk about a bit of the picture. Let's go in details. If we go to the recycling IPS, today the challenge is how we can improve the impact strength. In orange there, you could have the impact strength at room temperature. In blue, it's at cold temperature, minus 30 degrees. As you can see, using the two grades of Lotril, one is 29 MSO3T. It's a grade we generated a few decades ago. And the new one, 40 MSO5T, which improved the impact strength by about 60%. At cold temperature, it's a bit more challenging, but we are there. The 40 MSO5T is still increasing a bit the performance, which is good. But when we talk about ERIPS, we can't forget that the rheology is really important. And you need to improve the flowability. So for that, we have another grade called the Lotril 28BS700T, which is improving the MFI, so the flowability. Of course, you could blend two kinds of Lotrils that are well mixed together and have both impact modification, rheology modifier. I mentioned just before thermal aging. What is thermal aging? For me, it's when you have around 1,000 hours, something exposed to 90 degrees, and you evaluate the mechanical performance, like impact. I will focus on impact for that one. If you need more details, I can share it with you later. But first of all, when you compound it, you do the evaluation, we improve by 60% the impact strength using all Lotril grade. Over the time, 500 on 1,000 hours, we are still maintaining better properties than without RABS, which is not always RIPS, sorry. It's not the case with all other technologies. So it's pretty good to if you have to imagine that we use it for different kind of application at high temperature. More or less, you have also better properties at cold temperature using a blend Lotril-Lotadere. Lotadere, you know, I mentioned it's like a Lotril with functional properties, which is chemically reactive to the IPS, recycling IPS. Now, when we talk about optical properties, we can talk about glossy or matting agents. In IPS, some companies are looking to keep these glossy properties, or maintain at least. Under thermal conditions, so on the left here, you can see that the glossy properties, so using glossimeter, something pretty easy, you see how we increase it. So you increase the glossy one. Over the time, we lose properties, which is normal, but we are still better than without technologies. It's the same with UV exposure. Under UV exposure, we increase also the glossy properties. And of course, it's decreasing over the time. But still, after 1,000 hours, we are better, nearly better than when you don't use any technology. What is interesting to know is when you use Lotadere by itself, you completely decrease the glossy properties. You go to matching agents. I went to ERIPS, now I want to go to RABS. We are in styrenic. So here's the same thing. So the technology are pretty similar. We work with low-trill 29 MSO3T, 40 MSO5T, and we increase the impact strength at room temperature, but also at cold temperature. In that case, we have two kinds of rheology modifier. One to increase the viscosity, which is the Lotader AX8900 on the top right. And the other one to increase the flowability, the Lotrill 28BS700T. So for us, the goal is really to answer all the needs depending on the companies. You remember I talked about closed loop application. The goal is when we talk to collectors, which are the recyclers, and go to compounders, go to this loop. We can be integrated with compounders or recyclers using a different kind of technology. Now, how is it working? You have on the left, when you work with recycling ABS, the value and impact strength at room temperature is between 8 to 10. Over the cycle of couponing, injection, shredding, you do it 3 times. You lose mechanical or impact strength properties. The MFI is growing up. When you use Lotrill 29 MA03T, so after just one coupon with 5%, you increase the properties about 60%. As you can see, over the time, we don't lose any properties because we maintain it after injection, shredding, etc. So it's not thermal sensitive. And we can be easily integrated to this kind of application. I talk about HIPS, I talk about ABS. Of course, I'm talking about PCABS. In PCBS, there's similar things. We are looking to improve impact strength at room, at cold temperature. But in that case, we use PCABS with PP pollution, so 2% PP. What we are looking for also is how the elongation at break or the capacity is increasing. In that case also, we are looking to the viscosity modification. You can see on the fourth line how the MFI with the Lotrill 20 ABS on 3, we reach 20, we can reach 60 using 10% additives. By another way, using Lotader AX8900 or AX8750, we can completely decrease MFI from 20 to 5. I've seen that some people are interested about polyamide. It's true, polyamide start to be really, really interesting and developing now about recycling material. We have many projects where from tubing, for example, you have PA polluted with PP at different ratio, and the company are looking to improve the impact strength, compatibility, viscosity. It's the same with PA/PE when it's coming from fishnet, whereas they also to improve compatibility, impact strength, and viscosity. In that case, we have different kind of solution. Orevac for PA/PP and Lotader for PA/PE. Of course, I will share with you this data. On the top left, you have the impact strength. On the right is the elongation at break. The elongation at break is the value you evaluate to confirm if it's compatible or not. On the top left, you have the virgin polyamide as a reference. We polluted with 25% PP. You can see how you lose a bit of properties, slightly as impact, but if you go to the elongation at break, so the second column, you completely decrease it. So you need a compatibilizer. In that case, we use a blend with a CA100, which is Norevac blend with a Lotader 4700, which is a combination to increase not only the elongation at break to 250, but also the impact strength to 25, so better than the virgin material that we used just before. By the same way, for PAP, we use just the Lotader 3410, 10% for example, to enhance the elongation break on the right, completely right. So from 10% we reach 250%. And as impact strength from 9, we reach 50. So pretty relevant. So if someone is telling me that we can integrate recycling in virgin PA, no, we can't do it. In PT, same challenge. So many people told me after, Nico, in fact, we have a problem with pollution. It's not a big amount, but still have. Or, by the way, we have some people who say, we have PET or PLA, PHA, and need compatibilizer with P or PP. In that case, similar thing in orange, you can see how we increase the impact strength from 1.5 to 4.5, whereas the virgin PET here was at 4. So we are better. at room temperature. And at cold temperature, we reach more than 2.5. The same in PET-PP, so on the right. But what is for me interesting is when we see the elongation at break. For PET-PP, we have something interesting. It's true. From 2, we reach 18, which is pretty good. But when it's PET-PP, it's true on the top right. It's there, but we need more work. So why not next year develop a new grade to increase that properties? I want to be factual, so we have some solution, but it need to be work again. Now, what could be the application? We have a lot of demand in CPET tray, where you have to integrate some low trill as impact resistance, but also a blend low trill low tadder concerning to increase the melt strength. It's in fact the CPET tray that you will put in oven at 180 degrees. All technology work in that case. We have also a lot of demand in recycling PET for black tray which just go to the fridge. In that case also, the low trill low tadder blend is really well working to adjust the rheology and the impact strength. I talked about PBT at the beginning. In PBT, I find the challenge a bit different. Many companies talk to me about how to prevent hydrolysis. You remember I said that low tadder, so this technology, is composed of epoxy function. Basically, it will react with the end chain of the polyester function. By that way, it will decrease the MFI. What you can see on this graph is that. So the MFI is going really down. From 24, we go to 3. And over the time, after 30 days in water, we will reach 4 or 3 with the Lotte-Derriex 8900 compared to 40 somethings without technologies. It's true, you will tell me it's 15% additives. We can of course manage with 2 or 3%. We did some testing, but I find it was a lot of data, so I was selective for today. Just to let you know, the technology we are presenting is the Lotte-Derriex 8900T, which is a new grade we just generated last year. So hope it will have some success. One other application I didn't mention at the beginning is PEVOH film. We start to have also many film producers which are facing some change how to integrate PEVOH in the new film. PEVOH is not well compatibilized. They need compatibilizer. So that's why we do many tests, like the DAR test on the top right. So, and we can see how the recycled film could increase with 2% of Lotte-Derriex 4210, which is a grade with malic anhydride monomers. It's a PE ethyl acrylate with a malic anhydride. You can see on the top how, by pictures, we can see better dispersion of that grade. And on the left, the tear resistance is increasing. On the top right, you can see the pure PE in comparison with the recycle without compatibilizer, or in the middle with compatibilizer. So if you have any project in film application, we have many success and we have some leaflet on the booth. As I mentioned at the beginning, I like compatibilization. And I like to share well. I love well. So we have many I try to sum up all the different projects we have about application. When someone is talking to me about PBT with PLA or with PA, what kind of solution we have. So it's why, if you have this subject, we have the grade associate to answer your demand. If you need the paper version, we have it at our booth. And I can see that some are disappearing, but it's there on my screen. So yeah. So feel free to take picture. We have paper version. Last thing I want to share with you today. As I say, we are not just additive provider. We are not just there to sell something. We're also there to produce a solution to recycler. It's where SK is really involved. And lucky I am, it's part of my value. 40MSO5T is in the innovation booth today, so with more a video clip. But basically, I wanted to share some data about it. How with ERIPS, you have seen during my presentation, the high impact modifier, compatibilization, but also in PCABS, as we have seen before, using 2% of PP, how it brings more flexibility, but also in RABS for the aging testing. I didn't share it before, so how it could improve the impact strength if you compare the red one to the orange at room temperature over the time, but also in synergy with Lotte-Derriex 8900, because this Lotte-Derriex will chemically react and also create some synergy in presence of low trill. So in conclusion today, so I wanted to first thank you, but to say that SK Functional Polymer has multiple solutions for recycling, so feel free to ask. It's the best thing, talk together. If it works, it works. If it's not working, I'm also there to start to develop something with the company. So we want to really support recycling, not just by product, but also by ideas and by new challenge. The brand names that we are selling are the Lotadère, the Lotril, the Revac. I'm sure they can also answer your demands. And also, I want to thank you so much, and I hope SK will help all people in the world, not all people in the world, but in all recycling worlds. So thank you so much. So now we have a session about question. So we have 4 minutes left. So feel free if you have any question for me today. So mainly if you went to the QR code before, yeah, this one, you can ask your question and I will answer. And if you're a bit shy or don't want to write it, the booth I'm there for the next 2 days is A130, so just behind. And yeah, let's wait a bit. No question, I think so. Or in the meeting room? Yeah? Yeah. During? Okay. Okay, so the question is, can we add directly, in fact, the additive during polymerization? So, for example, if you are producing an engineering plastic, polystyrene, okay, polyester, okay, polyester, and if you, okay, during the process, it's not the best way, to be fair. Why? It's because it's not how I will recommend to use it, to be fair. For me, I think it's better to do a compound first or integrate it through a master batch, because I think you will have some chemical reaction during your process, where maybe your polyester will prefer to react with the Lotadère or the additive than between them, and maybe you will have some agglomerate. I think so. Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. What about recycling via dissolution, like TRITCO? So what about recycling via dissolution like TRITCO? So if we work in dissolution, I don't understand exactly the question, but if you work with monomers, so I don't think you will need direct additives, as in fact you will create monomers. So basically you will recreate a new grade. So I don't think you would need additives in that case, or at least if at the end of the dissolution and you have a new grade, maybe you need additive. I don't know. It's based on your application. So, but I would say for the timing being, not need of additives. About RPA. So we have another question. It's about RPA compatibilization with PP&P. What is the impact on the modulus? Basically, as the acrylic content will decrease a bit the modulus, so I don't share it on this slide, but I have some data where you will affect slightly the modulus about 5%, so based on our data. But you have some other solution where you will increase it. So using PP, basically you will decrease slightly, but you have another solution to increase it. And with PAPE, for sure we can increase it with another additive that I didn't share today. What is the difference between AX8900 and AX8900T? Basically, the formulation is the same, but the process is different. So we want to integrate this grade to the company who know already our technologies, but to have a high melting point. The melting point of the Lotadère AX8900 is around 70 degrees, and we wanted to have something with higher thermal performance. So, but as many people are familiar with this grade, we wanted to create the same one, same formulation, but with some better thermal performance. So the manufacture site is different, basically. And yeah. So yeah, I think for me it's time. So thank you so much to all of you for assisting this discussion. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wish you a great and lovely day. Thank you.